Looks like we are good to go. Go live right now. Don't worry about doing an intro. I'm gonna have to do intros. This is NonProphet. I want to do some AI art, and we're gonna talk about casting spells. But a couple guys here don't think it's called casting spells, so.
No, it's manipulation in the form of words. I mean, you can call it a spell all you want, but, I mean, it depends on your definition of spell. When I think of spell, I think of what I see in sci-fi, which is what most people think of. So I guess it depends on your definition. If we look up the definition of a spell, what is the definition?
Let's do that.
Yeah.
So, like, I think this is like
it's nice to. If we're going to discuss this, I need to know where somebody's head is at, what their definition of something is.
I feel like
so that when you say that word, I know what you're thinking.
You know what I need to do? I need to get Opera going for the stream because I could talk to AI and I have my pictures up at the same time. I don't have to use some stupid browser. This is the stuff that AI is good for. Let's do this. So I'll cast a spell for a minute. Let's show you some old versions and such. I like a bunch of this stuff. This is stuff I got off of Black's server. Oh, this is one of my. I love this one, Lou. You see that?
Uh-huh.
When you realize, I like some of those. Okay, I'll need to pull this up in my browser. Sorry, I can't have that one up there for too long.
It doesn't matter how long you have it up. Somebody can pause it, but whatever.
That's all right. I can take that part out if I want.
My spiritual beliefs, Jesus. Really?
I just think it's funny. I
mean, it's true. Those my spiritual beliefs. Oh, fuck. I mean, not that I believe anything really.
But that's the point. Is that don't take it too seriously. Like.
No, and nobody should. But.
Okay, let's do a couple of these here. So spell casting.
Just keep going through those pictures. I can do.
I will. I'm
going through
doing
those pictures. I can do that all day.
I'm doing like 3 things at one time. So the language of mystic arts is as old as civilization. The sorcerers of antiquity called the use of this language spells. Might offend your modern sensibilities. You can call it a program, but whatever it is, it shapes reality. We harness energy drawn from other dimensions of the multiverse and cast spells. We can conjure shields, weapons, make magic. That's like the modern. Then Wikipedia has this as disambiguous as incantation or spell casting. Spellcraft. And spell casting. Incantation, spell, charm, enchantment, bewitchery. As a magical formula intended to.
That's clearly a Photoshop picture. First off, right?
What it looks like. Oh yeah, totally. But what it looks like it is like one. Honestly, I don't know if the picture's real at all. I'm looking at it. I'm like, that could go under fakes probably. And honestly, look at the source too. That one could go under fakes, to be honest. I have a fake folder, I told you. These are unedited. These are just ones I downloaded last night. I have not I have not edited them or gone through them. This is raw. Just a folder dump. Like I tend to delete and organize a lot, like I said. So this is one I read. This one, and this one was confirmed. The Spanish meteorological agencies confessed that Spain is being spread with lead oxide, silver ionide, and diamite. And there's also a bunch of I've had confirmed results or confirmed reports, and you hear this from aviation engineers now. They convince the people who go through that program that it's good to put fucking aluminum oxide in our atmosphere. I'm like, you're an idiot.
But why?
I've heard aviation engineers say this. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. This is what I say to them. I'm like, you're an idiot. I'm like, what in God's name thinks it's better to use aluminum as I forget what they're called, greenhouse gases, shit like that. The bad exhaust is better than what old fuels used. I'm like, you're insane. I was like, you're insane if you think that dousing our skies with aluminum is smart. He's like, well, it's the future of aviation.
I don't even understand why they would. What's their supposed purpose?
Because they've been convinced that heavy metals don't hurt humans. They're incredibly toxic to us. And they take a whole lot of energy to remove from our bodies. But of course, they want our pineal glands turned into fucking a walnut. You know, they want it to dry up and shrivel away so we stay slaves. So of course they want to douse the sky with aluminum.
Yeah, but the people that are making these decisions have to fucking, have the same effect.
You know,
they have to deal with the same shit.
I really think that there's just they're so focused on. I miss my like a particular belief system, but it's like I don't know. Take it for what it is. I really think that like these people are waiting for like secret technology to come to them so that they can be better rulers, but not like better in the sense that like it'll uplift humanity anyway. But like they will have access to that technology and no one else will, and it makes them God among men on earth. And so they'll just do damn near anything for that power and to their own destruction. I mean, I think like them keeping their bloodlines thin and stuff like that's like, just bred amounts of like psychopathy and mental disorders that are unmeasured. So many of these people are serial killers and psychos and sexual heathens and human traffickers. Like like the whole spellcasting thing. Like you don't believe it, they sure as fuck do. Where do you think I've learned this stuff? I learned it from them.
Doesn't change the fact that it's a bunch of hoo-hoo.
Like this is a spell right here. So when someone puts this picture in your face, this is a spell. They're casting a spell.
I'm pretty sure when somebody's just posting that and not doing anything else, that's like literally putting that inside of a book and then somebody looking at this and thinking that they made a spell.
Well, no, I mean, here's the thing. So, like, this one's probably
not how it works.
Look at this. I mean, look at it. It looks like a simple divination ward. It does have the as above, so below, but I don't really see a whole lot of malevolence in this picture. So
can't it just be a picture?
No, not really. It can't. Someone made it with intention, and that intention has lived on. I mean, in the sense, it's just a picture. If you just want to judge it, like not judge it.
Jake does have a point. There's a lot of symbolism in this, and somebody clearly put a lot of thought into how they were going to design them.
Like once you see it.
Here's what I believe Jake's definition of a spell is literally just information or a way of thinking thrust upon somebody, or not really even thrust upon somebody, but basically he's looking at it as a way of manipulation. And I kind of agree with him. I just don't think the word spell is a good word to use in that context, because you're going to confuse a lot
Look what it says. Look what it says. It says Eish Mejim. Like, I mean, it's like this magic. I mean, what else do you want it to say? Superius, pater, mater. Like, I mean, this is casting a spell.
Like,
This is-
like Handy just said, I agree with Handy 100%, and I think our interpretations of what the word spell is just different. You're right, Jake. You're right. And if you keep going through enough of these pictures, there's enough coincidences between enough different artists that there's clearly a subliminal theme running across it. Whatever that is, and what you choose to ascribe to that, in my opinion, is up to you. But do I think it's a spell? If that's what you want to call a spell, then maybe. But I have no malevolence or benevolence with it. It's just a picture to me.
Right,
sure.
because
And I don't think it's.
We choose not to let this affect us in any way, shape, or form. Either by ignorance, because we don't even know what we're looking at, and for somebody like Jake that looks at something like this and then has to go and figure out every little bit and what everything means, those are the people that it influences. So Jake is getting influenced. He has a spell cast on him, yes.
I see.
If you want to call it that.
Here's where I disagree with that. That I think
Your mind is open. You told me yourself. My mind's closed off. Ain't nobody getting shit past these fucking iron gates.
I just don't. I just your ignorance of it. I don't think that your ignorance of it necessarily protects you from it. I think I think in some senses it may, but to be completely unaffected by people putting pictures in front of you like that, like I'm telling you, just going back through Black's his Discord and seeing all those pictures, I'm like, they had an influence on me. Like at the time, I didn't realize.
Yes, they did.
I didn't realize it.
So real quick, well, I'm only gonna. So my little icon that I have on here, do you kind of get what my little icon picture is? Like, by what do you call that little profile icon, right?
Avatar.
Yeah, my avatar. Do you see what it is?
I'm saving it and blowing it up.
So put it on the screen. Give it a sec.
Where did it put?
Can you see it for what it is on here, or is it that blurred?
What?
Just give him a sec. He's doing something.
Yeah, I thought it would just display on the Discord like.
Oh, there it is.
Right, I'm sure you can look at it. He's trying to put it up on the stream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. But I had to screenshot it and go find where it saved it. And it's kind of like low res. It's kind of hard to see. I mean, it looks like a Torah scroll.
Looks like a roll of
AR-15. It's a Torah
First and
scroll.
Second Amendment. First and Second Amendment, right there.
Oh yeah.
What is he writing on the wall? What is he writing on the wall?
Yeah, we're not going to say
He
that.
can say anything. Yeah, he can say anything that he wants, and you have to defend his right to say it. And I give you the same thing as well, too, Jake. Like, if you think it's a spell, you have the right. And anybody that wants to make this material, they have any right to do it, and I will defend their right to do it. But that's all I have to do is just defend their right to do it. I don't think it's good or bad, and I don't think it has any power over me, but I'll defend their freedom.
Hey, so I think I know. So you see this picture here? The one with all the Anunnaki? You guys see that picture?
Is that what it is? I thought that was Toth.
Well, whatever. Toth is an Anunnaki. But do you see what he uses to travel?
Yeah. Are you also going to look at his handpiece as well, too, with the clock on it?
I mean, you can look at all of it. I mean, you can look at all of it. So he's carrying a purse, but it looks like I don't really know what's in the purse.
I think it's a water pail.
A what?
I think it's a water pail.
You think it's a water pail?
I think it's representation of the flood that he's about to bring. Because remember, the flood comes immediately after that.
No, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's a pale water. You know what
It's
I
open
think
to
it is?
interpretation.
I'll tell you what I think it is.
It's open to interpretation.
I think that the acorn that he's holding is a human pineal gland, and I think that the pail is, at least the wrist and the pail together, are his frequency to go through his Stargate. I think that's a device that lets him walk through his Stargate.
Okay, what is a pine cone?
I mean, that's a tree seed.
Okay, and if you have a pail of water, what's the implication there?
I don't know. You're going to see the Earth.
Yeah.
I think that's a dumb human interpretation of it. I think that's like a pattern recognition thing. And I feel like the acorn has a different meaning.
Like I said, that's my interpretation of it. Is I think it's a guy, and that's why also if you take a look at his head and the martyr that's on his head, well, what is it symbolic of? I mean, sometimes it's an eagle, but sometimes it's also a fish, right?
Yeah, it could be. It's been a bunch of things. These are just some of the pictures. Yep. It's been a bunch of things, like because I think that picture of Enki and Enlil. For some reason, this is just my intuition. I feel like that's more like the Ajiji, maybe. I don't know. Like I don't like believe the story of the Anunnaki. I feel like it's a false story, a lot like our 3 books. Like we're lied about a lot. And I feel like if we suspend our belief about like Judeo-Christianity and that story, that I can't go and just immediately believe the one that's like 6,000 years prior. I also think some stuff off with the timeline. It's like all this stuff happened pre-flood. So like they didn't reseed the Earth. Like the Earth was fine. They fucking blew it. Like either they blew it up or it wasn't under their power. Like I really don't think the flood like had much to do with them. I think it was probably like a big catastrophic event. I think they just knew about it. I think we like lend too much power to the Anunnaki. How's that? That we think that they're this all powerful. I think they were really powerful, but I don't really think that they could like move planets and shit. How's that?
I'm not sure that's even a common belief enough to say we.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement.
I think this is one I heard recently, and I kind of like it. That the Anunnaki are us.
How many people do you think believe as you do?
A small percent, but probably maybe like even a full percent, because some of the other religions believe this shit. Like I don't get this from my ass. Like I get it from like lots of texts and like reading about Hinduism, and like I've read parts of the Bhagavad Gita. I've read Mormon Bible. You know, like people think that like this comes from an uneducated view, and it's like it comes from a very educated view. I like obsess about this shit. I read about it constantly. Like, you know, like to say that I have some.
And therein lies the issue. Why obsess over it?
And here would be another thing I'd have for you, Jake, is what would it take for you to change your belief otherwise?
What to believe? What do you want me to believe?
So you have a lot of pictures and conjectures, but if the same people, like for example, when I was telling you earlier, like if you believe some of these conspiracy theories of maybe like Sandy Hook or 9/11 or something like that, if those government agencies are the ones maybe telling you lies, what government agency or what faculty would alert you to some information that you would assume now is true and above all and is the truth?
We've said this before, and Jesus Christ, whether or not he ever lived, is the spirit of mankind. I think that like
would you,
go ahead.
how would you be able to discern between, for example, I would say in that same realm, some people believe there's also an antichrist that would precede the actual Christ coming. How would you be able to interpret the difference onto that?
If I was going to, I could probably more easily draw a picture for you, and maybe I'll try to do this. But I think that good and evil is like mistaken. The thought between good and evil is mistaken. I don't believe it works that way. You know, a God doesn't care about, you know, what you're doing for dinner or lunch or what you do with your body and whatnot. We think so small, such small time scales, that as soon as you start talking about beings who live a whole lot longer than us, like, you have to change your sense of morality. Like, you just have to.
Yeah, but how would you? How would you know something like that is present in front of you? What would they have to do in front of you to let them know that they are the authority of truth and knowledge?
I don't really think that anybody has that
Like, would
authority
they have
over
to bring,
me.
like,
Nobody has
like,
that authority
would they have
over
to,
me. I think I've made that pretty fucking clear in my life.
But there's something that could happen that would be able to suspend your disbelief. For example, if somebody raised somebody out of the dead, that would be a big sign. I would say if you performed miracles to some extent like that, or like if you're flying, some weird thing like that would
interesting.
be like
it's
a
interesting.
symbol.
It's interesting that you bring this up, because, like, my testimony as a Christian, I feel like my cross to bear is that I'm never going to get that. God is never going to give me that leap of faith. That I'm always going to have to dig for it in my own, and I don't ever get it. Like, that's like a thing, and I'll have to manifest it myself and maybe that'll be some enlightening point in my life. But for the time being, like, he kind of has my unrelenting faith, and he doesn't have to show me. Like, I believe, and I don't really need, like, there's just not going to be any convincing me otherwise, you know? Like, until someone else walks on this earth and makes up a better story than Jesus did, then he's the Son of Man, you know?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things there's a lot of things, in my opinion, that maybe Christ did in his time that would maybe seem like miracles, that if you did it today, some people would be a little bit more speculative. And I don't mean to discount Christianity or Catholicism or any form like that. But what I do mean to say is the level of miracle that would need to be performed would have to supersede any of today's modern inventions in order for somebody to actually become a performative miracle, if that makes sense.
I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's possible anymore.
Well, well, you don't think it's possible, but if you expand your mind, what would that be that would maybe change your mind? I think it is. It would be hard, but it's possible. But, then again, we're also dealing with a godlike figure, so that's not impossible.
So, yeah, maybe I'm mistaken, because I'm telling you, there's nothing like that's going to be able to convince me otherwise. Like, I could see some fucking crazy shit and still believe in God. Like, I've heard some CIA stories about something that's like a...
No, I don't. No,
hear me out.
You heard stories and stuff, but what would it take?
Hear me out. So the CIA... apparently there's with JWST and some of these other telescopes we can see what looks like a dragon out there. I mean, just to describe the figure that they see out in space past Orion's belt, and it looks like an eater of worlds out there. It looks like there might be a couple of them, like these gigantic entities that move around out there. And they hide them from us. Like, they don't want us to see, like, intelligence on such a grand scale out there. I don't think that like, when it comes to any secret or mystery that might expand the human brain, like, it's going to get hidden from us. But it doesn't really matter. Like, the idea that there is some creature out there that's the size of galaxy clusters. Like, that doesn't surprise me, dude. Like, an amoeba running around out there fucking eating shit up and pooping out new star systems? Sure. You're not going to surprise me. Like, that doesn't mean God don't exist.
Yeah, but is there anything that would surprise you? So there's nothing that
what would surprise me? What would surprise me? That there is no grand creator. That this is not a design of some greater being. I would think that sounds wild. That this just all happens to work out, and all like the way our universe looks like a neuron. Like, it looks exactly like neuron formations in the brain. Like, I mean, some of the similarities between the way star systems are built and the way we can look at atoms, like, it's just undeniable that they're the same system on different time scales. Like, they're just absolutely the same systems on different time scales. You're going to be really hard pressed to show me something in quantum mechanics that doesn't look crazy, multi-dimensional.
You didn't answer my question. You just reinstated your own point of saying that because it's a modern society, it's very hard to recreate a miracle that would make people believe something greater. And all you're doing is reinforcing your point. You haven't given yourself or given me a reason to say that something would suspend your disbelief.
Okay, here's the thing.
What would you do to see happen?
About the only thing that could reaffirm, let me put it this way, about the only thing that could reaffirm my belief is
No, he has to suspend, not reaffirm.
Right, but I can't really think of anything. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Is that, like, there's nothing. Okay. What like, give me some examples of what you think might.
So what you're saying is you're closed-minded then?
No, I just
no. I think he needs an extreme example, and I'm going to do some things that, this is obviously clearly impossible. But if I could do these things or put a hallucination in front of you for a while and make you experience it, then you would believe. So, for example, if you woke up one morning and all of your loved ones and everyone in the world was gone and it was just you, I would say you're having a pretty bad trip, and that would seem like an impossible dream, right?
Sure.
Well,
okay. You wake up one morning. Real quick, one other one. Okay, you wake up and all of a sudden all the colors in the world are opposite. Your sun's no longer yellow; it's blue. Your sky's yellow. Your plants and bushes are all red now. If something like that happened, would that give you an effect of saying, okay, like, something's up?
No, because I think it's, like, very likely that we probably do live in some kind of matrix. Like, not like the TV movie Matrix, not like that. Not something not quite so, like, mechanical and intentional. Something more, like, interdimensional. I could totally see. It's just that, like, the science.
So you're not telling me you wake up and then, like, the person that you fell asleep next to is gone, and all the loved ones that you've ever known, everyone in the world is gone for a period of time. And that wouldn't freak you out, or like you said, every color.
I'm not saying it wouldn't freak me out, but
the things that I get concerned with, and I'm going to go off on a little tangent, is that if I had to do what I had to do in order to wake people up to that mass effect, that it's still not scaring people if you did something like that by changing all the colors, by making people disappear. To the level and extent that you would now have to go forward and put upon the earth to make somebody believe would be hellscape.
Look at your picture. Look at your picture. Look at the picture I just put.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. No, it doesn't scare me. It wouldn't surprise me. Like, it just wouldn't surprise me, man. Like, you know what I would do? I'd fucking sit down and meditate. I would sit down and meditate and build a new world in my head.
You could do that for a period of time, but I'm sure at some point you'd kind of call out and go, okay, you win. Okay, whatever the, show is, you got me. Like, like that's the point is.
How about this?
In my opinion,
how about this? That I would say that if I got put into, like, sheer nothingness, this is, like, just because it's not something I've thought about before, to be honest with you. If I got put into sheer nothingness for a long period of time and could not manifest anything in front of me, that would be a bad day, and I might start reconsidering things then. but I don't know how much time that would take. You know, like I'm not really sure. So, and I also kind of feel that it like I'm a persistent, strong person, so it would take some time. You know what I mean? Like I would probably meditate for a long time before I gave up.
So back in like what they call like the biblical plagues, right, in Egypt. You know, I would hope that by the first couple of plagues, people would have realized, hey, we got to change our ways, we got to do something different. But by the time the final one rolls around and your firstborn is dead, I mean, that was enough to convince the people. What I'm afraid is going.
You don't have kids. That's every parent's. You don't have kids. That's every parent's greatest fear, and it's statistically likely to happen to somebody. So.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't make me better that that nieces and nephews would die as well too. I mean, in no situation is that good. That's probably parents as well.
Yeah, but it's not going to make me rethink like whether or not God exists. It doesn't mean I wouldn't be fucking pissed at him, but it doesn't mean I would.
Well, no, and for the fact that you believe in him would probably be the reason that. What?
Can I say anything?
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is that if a separate set of plagues were put on Earth, there'd be enough signs that I think people would start, humbling themselves a little bit to the general experience that everybody is.
This is cool. Check this picture out. So, like walking in this building will cast a spell on you. You feel?
Why are you using that word? Can you explain and just instead of saying?
Okay, yeah. Give me a second. Give me a second. So, if you walk through these doors, the science behind the way. Hang on, hear me out. You just asked me to explain, so I'm going to explain.
I know. I'm shutting up. I started talking before I realized I should shut up. Go ahead.
So the way these buildings are built is they will capture RF radiation. Like you may not be able to see that radiation, but it's capturing it and it's pointing it at you. And so particularly like when there are certain kinds of sounds are playing, the spells of course will be much stronger. But they are essentially directing electromagnetic radiation at you at particular levels, and they can do it for lengths of time, and they can do this. And I mean, this is just science, man. Like it's going to have an effect on your body. Like it's certain like frequencies they're putting out at you. But this goes to point to a larger.
Real quick. You also know that acoustically, it sounds a lot better when things are organized in sort and form, especially when you're playing instruments or singing inside of there.
No doubt. I'm arguing for this as we speak. Here's the big thing.
That doesn't mean it's a spell. That doesn't mean it's a spell.
Well, here's the thing: is that I've been I like to study physics, man, and I've been looking into fluid dynamics as of late. And the fluid dynamics on a structure like this are going to have powerful effects on things. They just are. They like, let's say the science of how that affects a human body is not well researched, but to say that it would have no effect is dumb. So call it whatever you want.
Everything has
call
an
it a
effect,
spell.
so
call it a magnification of acoustics.
Hang on. It's anecdotal at best because everything has an effect.
No, it's
what
not.
You had for
it's
breakfast
not
this morning
it's
has
not,
an effect.
It's not.
If you breathe air near a gas station, has an effect.
That's not anecdotal either. That's not anecdotal either. Inhaling petroleum fumes is bad for you. It could kill your brain cells for extended periods of time. It could really hurt you. I'm not saying it's necessarily bad. I'm not saying it's necessarily bad. It could actually have healing properties. It's in a fucking church.
On your idea of a spell, is it a transmogrification? I think is one word. Like it changes something. That's the idea of a spell.
Well, okay, so here's the thing.
Alter something.
Listen. Yeah, we never got back to the definition.
That's all my question is. That's all my question is. When you cast a spell, is it supposed to change or alter something?
Hang on. I will answer that. But there's a scientific answer to this. So it would be called transmutation or alchemy. No. And this is because it's not well studied phenomenon. You can go become a radio engineer, but this is not the applied physics that they use for this. So hang on, And also fluid dynamics too. If a fluid, flowing through a medium, and you can study the acoustics, you can watch the way these things roll. And let me play a video for you. This will help you understand what I'm talking about. This is real physics.
Jake, real quick.
It's not imaginary. It's not imaginary. So you call it what
Jake,
you want.
I'm going to only have one sentence on this. I'm only going to have one sentence on this. The transmogrification in this building is called an amplifier. It's making the sound louder.
It's not, but they're not just amplifiers. They're not just amplifiers. It's a very simplified way to discuss it. And I don't think that
it can have multiple meanings. It can have multiple meanings, and multiple meanings can be true.
Check this out.
I'm at least going to use
check this out.
Reasoning why.
Watch this video. Watch this video. Acoustics are not just amplifiers. Like yes, you can amplify sound with them. That's not an issue, but they're not just amplifiers. Look at that. That's fluid mechanics in motion using sound. This is a real phenomenon.
I never said it was just an amplifier. But I am saying that it is amplifying.
Okay, then you know what I'd like to define spells as right now? Unstudied effects.
I don't want to define weird stuff.
Unstudied effects of in this particular situation, I think most of the time it's fluid dynamics. Because we're humans and we live on this atmosphere. There's some other stuff I've looked into about some of these kinds of mechanics that are actually like real world applicable with like 0 point energy, how to move craft through Earth's atmosphere really fast and quietly. Like there's definitely ways to do this stuff that's not metaphysics, it's physics. It's not even really an engineering problem at this point. It's just much more like
one of the things that
R&D and money, like it's just it because they are high energy levels. It just takes a lot of fucking money and research and time to develop these systems. But we have a bunch we can just go turn on. We can just go turn on. We can just turn these things on.
What am I looking at?
You're looking at what would be wind cracking the side of the pyramid and creating an acoustic wave that travels up the pyramid in real time. And
that's not AI.
I'm not sure if it is or not, but I have seen this more than on one occasion. So even if this is AI, it represents a reality that I've seen come off the pyramid in real reals. So unless we just want to go back,
show me more pictures, and then I'll believe it. But otherwise, I have no reason not to suspect that this is an AI.
Fair. I'll grant you that one. That sometimes it's best to just suspend belief until you see it on your own. But also, to some degree, I just can't save every single source, and some of this stuff is just real. Like this is real. Like I know the pyramids do this. I've heard this many times. I've heard this since I was a kid. So,
well, one of the things that I heard about the pyramids, and you tell me on this one, is that they were actually anchors.
There's large caverns and lots of mercury underneath them. So
not just that though, but like basically after I guess like an asteroid hit Earth and caused a great flood, it sent the world spinning in an odd rotation, and so the pyramids were constructed all around the world to bring it into balance, into a particular balance.
Oh, sometimes I look at a lot of these spells and they kind of spell out balance to me, and I'm beginning to
If you compare a pyramid to the size of the fucking Earth, even all the pyramids on the planet, how is that going to have any effect?
The density in time. Remember, all we're trying to do is alter it for a period of time in trajectory.
Well, hang on. First off, there's a lot more fucking pyramids than everyone thinks there are. There are pyramids literally all over the planet in mass. Like
what are the pyramids made out of? And the pyramids are not rock; they're granite. They're hard. Yeah, exactly. They're heavy.
Limestone, alabaster, marble, granite, sandstone in some cases. Fine sand. A lot of them. Listen to this.
Did you ever hear the external part? Did you ever hear that the external parts were coated in gold?
I don't think they really needed to be. I think that maybe some decorations, but the math just doesn't math out for layering them in gold. You don't need to.
So real quick. If it was like you said, you've heard that it was layered potentially in gold. If it was layered in gold, layered,
No.
like even if it had a coating of that, gold is extremely dense and heavy. You're talking about a lot of heavy things. And if like I said, all I'm trying to do is change the trajectory, like an out of balance tire. I just have to hit it, the wobble just right.
If you're talking, oh, okay, well, and so here's the thing, though. This is cool. Let me pull this up. Let me see if I can find it. Let me. I think I have it saved. It's about the Teotihuacan pyramids.
Tiamat.
Have you heard about those?
Tiamat.
No, it's not Tiamat. Hang on. Let me. I've got a reel saved somewhere. I'll pull it up. It's really interesting. Actually, let me keep this going over here. I want to look at something fun. I want to pull something fun up for you guys to look at. This has always been one of my favorite memes. I don't know why. I posted this one. I love this picture.
Why?
It's Wyatt Earp with a like a recent version of what his pistol probably would have been like very pro 2A.
Yeah.
Like fuck you, Wild West.
Looks AI though.
I don't know. It didn't matter what it is to me. It does look like it was drawn because it looks like a piece of paper someone drew on, and it's been floating around the internet for a long time. So. I'm trying to get more pyramid pictures and stuff. It's not the... Where's this one? Is this the name? It's in Mexico. No, I'll just find it that way. I want to go... Because there are
You're looking at Quetzalcoatl stuff. Yeah, Quetzalcoatl, the dragon.
No, I think it's the ones in Mexico. Mexico pyramids.
Yeah, and the three doors as well too. Very common symbology.
There it is. Pyramid of the Sun and Pyramid of the Moon and Teotihuacan. That's it. I'm gonna pull that up on Google Earth.
It is strange that there's pyramids all around the world that are kind of the same.
And they're really old too, man. They're a lot older than they tell you they are. First off, they were made at different periods in time. They were just made over and over and over and over again. They were maintained for lots of years. So
so type in Quetzalcoatl.
No, I'm doing something. I'm pulling up the Pyramid of the Sun and the Moon. So there's some crazy things that are said about okay, so if you can see my screen here, there's some interesting stuff here. So remember, this thing isn't maintained anymore, right? Like this thing's thrashed. At the top of this pyramid, you can stand up at the top of it and talk down to this valley right here, and about 250,000 people can hear you. So the acoustics on this pyramid are perfect, huh? What was that?
So it's acoustics is the main reason for pyramids in general.
But it still works in that state of disrepair, and they don't know how it works. Okay, so here's another thing too: is you see all these big squares here?
You mean they don't know how it works?
They don't know how it works. Look at these big squares here in front of the pyramid. You see those? So apparently these were reflective pools. So they used reflective technology to map the stars. And they could talk to large groups of people in front of these reflecting pools at any given time. Like, they had some sophisticated technology. Like, it may not be sophisticated in the way that we think of it, but nonetheless, like, they didn't need social media. Someone could just stand up top there and talk to the whole city all day. And they could always see the astronomy, like walking through the streets at night. You could like look down at the astrological news in front of you, and they would have stone pillars across across these pools that would probably have daily news and stuff on them, like in stone tablets and stuff. Like, and these things. And the coolest thing about this is that this apparently they were maintained for upwards of 1,000 years. So this society was practicing like advanced mathematics and acoustics and all kinds of crazy stuff. This is proven. This is proven fact. Like this is what the mainstream believes about this stuff. So like they could have stones that marked where stuff was, and and they did this over 1,000 years. Could you imagine how good of astronomers they were? How good their acoustics were? And you really think that they used fucking wood wheels to move 80 ton blocks? No, hell no. They were using all kinds of sophisticated technology we don't understand the usefulness for. Just imagine if you developed your technology in a completely different path,
Yeah.
And of course they had irrigation and agriculture and lots of other things that we like pretend like they didn't have, like these were very advanced societies. For sure. So
Like I want to go back to ask Candy, what would it take for you to see something that you'd go, okay, that was a miracle and I kind of need to like chill out for a minute. I hope there's not something that extreme where the colors have to change or people have to leave like a rapture or something. But
I've had and this is the one right here that supposedly has the best acoustics. This one right here. This is the other one. This is the one that has like the most amazing acoustics. It's cool. I know it's not very particularly good. I can pull some pictures up of it, but I just really like looking at stuff on Google Earth and like being able to adjust my view and see the surroundings. It's really fun to me. Getting good at it.
Yeah, no, that's fun.
So, just like looking at what life would have been like around those cities and whatnot to get a better feel of what I'd be looking at. Actually, like this is something I like to do when I meditate. I've been daylight dreaming about what it would look like to live in a place like this during that time. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So leave it there. I don't need to go any crazier. It's good for now. So yeah, sometimes it's hard to get me to believe. Oh, I was looking up your Tongan explosion this morning. Do you remember that, Lou?
huh?
Do you remember posting a bunch of stuff about the Tongan explosion?
Tongan explosion. Where's that at?
You put a bunch of pictures of it up. It's in Tonga. So let me pull it up on Google Earth. I was looking at it earlier.
I don't know where that's at. Was it like a volcano or something?
Yes. So where is it? Yeah, right here. Is it here? Yeah. There was some videos you posted about it. Let me see if I can find them. And there was a bomb that went off here, and everyone said either that or it's the most explosive volcano explosion ever recorded. Let me find it. It's in your videos that I looked through last night. Give me a sec. I don't always show you my searches. I just show you what I pull up. Is this it? No. Where'd it go? There it is. This one?
Yeah, okay, I remember that now. When all that stuff started traveling north.
No, not.
Although I thought it was more of the Atlantic rather than the Pacific.
There's been a couple. I got confused because I was looking, and it took me a while to find it. So here's the. Is it this one? Is it this one? I'm wondering if this is a different one. There's been a couple. Where'd it go? Where's Tonga? I'm pretty sure it's Tonga Island. Where's that volcano? I'll just look it up real quick. It'll be faster. It's just on it. I keep Tongan eruption blast in 22. Huanga Tonga. There it is. Put this in there. There it is. There it is. Let's see if I can take off the cloud layers. The clouds aren't on there. This is sometimes where it doesn't want to show you what's up. I know I had another one of it. Anyways, do you remember that?
Particularly, other than just kind of like some radiation thing was let off.
Yeah, it was as much radiation as a 15 megaton hydrogen bomb. The thing about hydrogen bombs is that they don't put off radiation like standard nukes. They consume a lot more of their fuel, so they actually use a standard. I forget. One's a fusion, one's a fission.
So when did it happen?
22, I think. It just leveled this city.
Why would they do that?
No. I don't like. I don't know. I'm not here to. I'm not really saying I have a belief about it. Okay, so here's the story though. A Tongan volcano exploded, but it exploded 5 times, and the 5th one was the biggest, and it was as big as the largest hydrogen bomb that's ever been let off by the U.S. Known by declassified hydrogen bombs that we've blasted. 15 megatons. The largest amount of water vapor ever released into the Earth's atmosphere, and it's supposedly raised the temperature of the Earth by some fractal amount of a degree for some amount of years because it was so big.
Crazy.
Yep, it is. And this is NASA. This is NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory talking about it. So I try to find good sources if I can. I don't like to goof off and peddle horse shit.
Sure.
That's not really my intention. And seriously, if you guys ever find something to call me out, feel free, man. If you find good stuff, and that goes both ways too. Sometimes I find sources people don't like. I don't like NPR and CNN. I don't trust those. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Eat one if you think I'm going to believe that. Not happening. So yeah.
So do you want to watch a little video?
You can send it to me and I can check it out before I put it up.
Yeah, well, it's safe to watch, but let's see. I know I've got it, I think, in my saved videos. You know who Benjamin Fulford is?
No. But you put it up on Discord. Let me see it.
Yeah, give me a second.
should just put that shit in your general. Just put that stuff in your general. Would you?
Yeah. Give me a second.
Like that, all the bacon you can have. Let's see here. Start this muted. Yeah. What is it?
Oh, yeah. The audio is in English. I wish it would translate. I don't know why it's not like giving the subtitles in English though.
It's on YouTube, so it must be somewhat safe. Let me pull it up.
I love how you don't trust Leah to post safe content.
Well, I mean, well, the thing is that...
Are you guys listening or not?
No, I'm pulling it up. Give me a minute. I want to get your assurance that it's not...
Yes,
gross.
it's safe. It's safe. Listen.
Numerous I have suffered numerous murder attempts. The people who tried to kill me include Henry Kissinger, George Bush Sr., David de Rothschild in Geneva, okay? And the people who are now at the source of the problems in the United States include Frank Carlucci, James Baker, Paul Wolfenson, George Soros, Zbigniew Brzezinski, Timothy Geithner, okay? These people are murderers and criminals. You need to arrest them. If they resist arrest, they are murderers. You must shoot them. You must not let these people be free.
I am going to turn this off,
This is important.
though.
They're planning to start World War III and murder billions of people. David de Rothschild in Geneva. Don't think you're safe in your castle there. You're not. We know where you are. We know who you are. And you have this serial child rapist Pope Malevolent the 16th. Well, he's going to be dead.
That's pretty out there.
And good riddance.
Fukushima.
Satan is waiting for you.
Sorry.
This is before Fukushima happened.
There are a lot of these scumbags now who are on the run, and we've got to push. We've got to remove them from power. They are preventing humanity from progressing. They've held back technical progress by at least 100 years, if not more. They are trying to murder 4 billion people. They are trying to start World War III right now in Iran and in Syria. And everybody says, gee, I don't know what to do. Come on, it's just a few old men. Why don't you Americans put them in jail? And I'm letting you know now, there's a threat against Japan. There's a ship right now drilling nuclear bombs into the seabed off the shore of Chiba. It's called the Chikumaru. And if Japan is attacked again with a nuclear tsunami, then I've heard that there's going to be retaliation.
Hang on. Tell me, who is this guy? What's his background like?
Hush.
No, tell me. This is what I mean.
Dude, are you ruining the video right now?
I'm not going to sit here and listen to this for 9 minutes. Help me out.
Benjamin Fulford.
What?
Benjamin Fulford. Benjamin Fulford.
Okay, I'm going to pull.
Now you got to rewind the video a little bit.
Just chill out. Seriously, relax. Is this the same Dr. Benjamin? No. It's really heavy content. It's just really heavy content. And it's not that I don't think it needs to be heard. It's just that I'm not sure I want to hear 9 minutes of someone putting up like very, you know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to get my channel canceled in the first freaking 3. But I'm trying to find anything on the guy and where he's from. I'm trying to find, and you're welcome to help me out here. But that shit's just intense. I really, this is the truth about that, Lou, is that I don't really, this is why I don't follow politics. Like, I know all this, but I don't want to hear it all the time. It drives me insane if I dwell on it.
Real quick. Did you catch the point onto there that he said that they put nukes under Fukushima or on the Japan coast? That actually happened. They detonated that. But Fukushima got flooded out. And they kept saying that it was the nuclear power plant is why there was so much radiation in the ocean. No.
You told me what it would take for me to suspend belief. None of that shit would, dude. None of it. I'm not saying this is suspending your disbelief. I'm just saying that this guy pointed out that the Fukushima plant that went down and they quote-unquote said overheated in Japan was not as a result of the tidal wave that went over there. It was they let off nuclear bombs underneath the seabed, and that was what the radiation was that walked out, not because the things overheated and melted down. There's no comment.
And he called it out less than a year. He called it less than a year before that wave came around. Like that, you remember that tidal wave in Japan?
I do.
Yeah, of course I remember that. I studied it.
Yeah, and they kept saying
I studied the meltdown. I studied the meltdown.
Yeah, well, what the guy's saying onto there is that there was no meltdown. The result of the radiation was that they actually let off a bomb. That's why there was radiation, not because of the nuclear meltdown.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of video footage of that and them trying to clean it up and the power issues they had with it and stuff. I mean, really, at that point, are they drilling into the rock and putting nukes in the ground? Yes, they are. They're making a nuclear power plant, so that's exactly what they're doing. But
okay, well, the guy basically called it out that they were going to explode it within a year of that video coming out, and that exactly happened.
The truth. Here's the thing: is the truth behind.
I mean, even a blind squirrel gets a nut every once in a while.
Well, here's the thing: is that there's a different kind of intuition here. Hang on, there's a different kind of intuition here that I think sometimes people misplace. Was he technically correct? Yes. Were they drilling nukes into the bedrock? Yes, they were. And were they irresponsible with it? Yes, they were. GE sold them the plans to how to build the plant and said you have to move your generators up. If you do not, you will get hit with a big wave and it will start a catastrophe unlike the world's ever seen. We're going to pull our warranty and we wish we wouldn't have sold you the plans for these nuclear plants. This is what this really happened. And GE said, fuck you, we're not going to help you build these. And Japan said, fuck you, we're going to build them. And we don't care if it explodes and nukes your coastline. This really happened. So in a sense, this guy is right. Like, that really did happen. And then a really nasty freaking tsunami or whatever they're called, monsoon or whatever the heck they call hurricanes over there. Hit it, and sure enough, buried their generators. It buried their generators, and the plant melted down, and it melted down about as bad as like worse than what we did to them, you know, like, and they put it in the ocean. I mean, I think it was kind of vengeance in a way, like they nuked our freaking coastline. They almost did the same thing, you know, like over a long period of time. They did just as bad as we did to them. So, was it intentional? Probably. Stealing the plans to be able to bury nukes in your rock bed and then launch them at us from across the ocean. I mean, I don't know. Like, how intentional is that? This is what I'm talking about, like spells and things. Like, I don't think there is such thing as coincidences, and nor do I think that gross negligence like remits you from your consequence. Like, you may have not intended, but you also didn't care so much that it was basically an inevitability. Like, at what point does that become your responsibility, right? You know? So they were just slow release nukes that they hit us with. And when they get the bugs worked out of the power plant, it'll last for a really long time. And they'll use, like, sea salt thorium and launch that at us next time. Yeah. Think on bigger time scales, man. They're assholes.
Still scary shit.
I know, right?
People are fucking nuts.
I'm gonna
In
pull
some
up.
way, it's kind of like the Tower of Babel. Like everybody helped contribute to it, and everybody's going to suffer because of it. It's
I'm not
like,
really
in
sure
my
it's even
opinion,
the Tower of Babel. I think the Tower of Babel is a control mechanism. The
well,
story of it.
whatever. Well, the idea I think is very applicable. Like, for example, what do you see a lot of things being built out here in Arizona right now, or wherever you're at in Cali? What do you see a lot of things being built?
I don't know. Tell me, man. You do this sometimes. I don't really know.
I know. Well, like, take a drive around. What do you see being built? I mean, even by you, what do you notice? Do you see a lot of warehouses being built? Do you see a lot of apartments being built? Do you see a lot of tiny homes, small
I mean,
homes?
this
Do you
is.
see a
I've
lot of
always said this
RVs?
that humans are impressive at collecting trash, and so you name ways to store trash, we probably do it.
I don't think that was it, but like, do you agree with me, Handy? Do you see a lot of apartments and stuff being built? A lot of
Yeah,
warehouses?
absolutely.
They hold trash.
Yeah.
They
Not
hold
so,
trash. They hold
not
trash. That's exactly what I mean.
And on a relative scale versus any, nice houses or accommodating places to live that you'd actually want to raise a family at, you don't see many more of those. You're just seeing like, houses that share walls, maybe don't even have a garage, things like that. Like,
right, because they make more money.
well, and it's not just that they make more money. It's what's going to be happening here is I don't think people understand that are like, for example, the construction workers working on these places, any wages that they think that they're receiving are only going to be enough to afford to live at these kind of places. So you're building your permanent home. If you do not like the style of living, what makes you think that somebody else is going to enjoy living here and pay to live here? And you're only going to make enough with all of your money that you made from building these warehouses to live at a place like this. You're not going to get any more. So you're building your own jail cell in a sense. What they call affordable housing is a relative concept. You could easily go out and build on acres and acres. It's just they're choosing to build it in these small things. And all it would take is just for the builders themselves to say, look, if I have to live here in the long term, I don't want to live in apartments. I don't want to work at warehouses. I'm going to have big open lands. We're going to build houses that way, and it would still be affordable. But the builders themselves that are so desperate for work are choosing to build their own jail cell. What do you think about that idea?
I think it's fucking ridiculous. I think people are stupid for even encouraging that shit.
I agree.
I think people that sell their homes to big corporations so that they can make an extra fucking 5% on their home is ridiculous. It's part of the problem in America. The fucking greed is disgusting.
Hey
Now,
guys,
I understand that it's the best system we have, and it's the best system that people have really come up with, but that doesn't mean that there's no room for improvement. So, for example, like you've got out of fucking country investors that now own large portions of America. They own our food production land. They own all kinds of fucking garbage, all kinds of shit. You got China basically taking over America just by buying it.
America for sale.
Yeah.
we got sold a long time ago, man.
But my bigger point on
it's extremely disappointing and it's sad.
But
and
my
people don't do shit about it because they might make an extra $5.
But my conjecture on it is moving forward though, is if they're not building any newer or nicer places to live, where do all these construction workers think that they're going to live? Like if they don't like the places that they're building, where do they think they're going to live that's going to be so much nicer if they're not available?
I don't know.
Like, you following it? Like there's only a set amount of houses, and if you can't afford those houses and you're making what's quote unquote affordable housing, so it's something you can afford, but it's a place you wouldn't want to live, why even build it in the first place?
The funny part is it's not so affordable.
No, and that's just it. Because
they're fucking expensive as fuck out here.
Hey, please allow me please allow me to interrupt for a quick second. Tell me what you guys want me to make with my AI. Nothing perverted.
I don't want you to make anything.
I can make like cool backgrounds. Yeah. No, you don't have any interest?
No.
Fine. Never mind then.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to burst your bubble. I just don't have any interest.
That's fine. You don't have to.
What were you saying about that, Handy?
What's that?
What were you saying about that?
About what?
I can't remember where we were in that conversation.
About real estate.
That apartments are incredibly expensive. Even the ones they're building, these low cost living. The only people they benefit are the people that don't work at all, because it's government assistance.
So, if the housing stops being built, what happens to the prices of the houses? They go up, right?
Yeah.
So for any of the builders, if the only thing that they are building is quote unquote affordable housing in the form of apartments or, townhomes or something like that, and it's housing that's not even really desirable, if they stop building, or if they don't even begin to build the nicer, bigger homes, what makes them think that they'll ever be able to go into a nicer home? They're I think I just said this before.
Well,
They're
here's
building their
the
own.
thing, though. If you want nicer living and you want nicer homes to live in, the only way to do that these days in America is there are spec builders, so private citizens that build houses they would want to live in. They exist. I know one that does it. It happens all the time. A lot of these people will build these homes and move into them for a couple years. I know a couple people that do this out here.
Yeah, but on a ratio for how many families can live in that spec home versus how many are being built in relationship to apartments, the apartments in those townhomes are always going to be so much cheaper and affordable. And like I said, if they stop building any more of these and the prices just keep going up, not only are the construction workers unemployed then at that point, they have no money to build a nicer home, and then they're still stuck in the same apartments that they just got done building, which,
correct.
So it's like if you never even made these smaller places or just started building homes of a standard size again, they would still be affordable because that would be the only thing there. It's just they're choosing.
Most of the world lives in places like that.
Doesn't matter.
In what?
It sucks.
In low cost living, quote unquote.
Is that by? Unfortunately, it's by design. But do you think they enjoy living like that, or do you think they would rather live out in a rural area?
I think they don't know any better.
Well, I
My
argue that.
worldview is that people are fucking dumb and they don't know any better.
I agree, and let them eat cake. But I would say that there was at least at a time where it was affordable to live outside in a rural area because it was so much cheaper. Nowadays, you can't even do that. So I understand for people not moving out now. But back in the old days, I don't understand why people are still choosing to, build apartments when they could see the benefit of living outside in the country a little bit.
I got you.
Yeah, and I genuinely think a lot of the immigration stuff, because how many people do you actually know that are working the construction at these apartments and these warehouses?
I don't know any. They're all foreigners.
Dude, 100%. I literally think part of the immigration thing is that this is how they're intentionally importing and disguising housing for these people, is by building these low-cost, low affordability, government-sponsored things, and then they're importing them and housing them there, and then having them build. Yeah.
Check out my stream. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good. Lou's got some good memes. Are you gonna give me that file folder?
You'll have to come on over and help me, because obviously it's like 5 gigs. You can't just send that real easily, and plus I got to send it through this too.
Well, it's probably like half porn, so.
Yeah, there's a good amount, but it's tasteful, quality stuff.
Sure.
Oh, that's funny.
Sure it is.
What the shit is that?
AI.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
cool
clearly,
one now.
but
It's a cool one. I
it's
like it.
Waterworld. Noah's Ark.
I think it's a favela of a boat,
Just someone's rendition of something cool.
or a commie block. It's a commie block on a boat. other pictures you got there?
Kind of looking through some of my old stuff.
that's an old
Ooh,
gift.
I found this. This is cool. I found this. The edited version of this. Whoop. I found a bunch of my old stuff. I've been kind of going through and digging out.
It could have been something else, though.
But just digging up
To escape the
old.
gravitational force of the sun, that is crazy.
Yeah, and it's something like the size of Saturn too. That's pretty ridiculous. And that
I mean,
one was
let
like
alone
you
being
can
that
go on the
close to
NASA
the sun.
website and watch that. You can go on the NASA website and watch that. Like that's legit. That's real. They say it's some
So
sort of like
those-
bubble. They say it's some kind of like bubble distortion, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I'll gross you guys out for a second.
I mean, it could be.
um,
You can just, honestly, everything that I have is pretty much on my Discord.
oops. I love that. I'm gonna have to spend time here. There's so many like old political ones I just do not care about anymore. It's just a complete waste of space on my computer. Just need to like go through. I'm like, why
Is
did I
this your
save
file?
pictures?
Are these your files or mine?
Yeah. It's like, why did I save pictures of ugly trannies? Like, what's the point of that? Why do I care? Right? I know. Why do I care? I'm like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I thought this was a funny one. This was the January 6th. This was the soldiers they had to protect the place. Like in Meal Team 6, like
Yeah.
who's that gonna stop? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know. Hey, do you like Tolkien? So here's
Yeah,
where they
like a little
remember
Tolkien.
that dragon I was telling you about.
Okay.
That's a supposedly you can look at it too. It's called Boots Void. It's kind of like just a dark spot in space. This is kind of a bad representation because you can see a lot of dots on the inside of it because it is it doesn't completely block it out, but on certain wavelengths this is what it looks like. But it's like freaky ass place in space. I know. Ooh, I got a good
That
quality
was
of this
weird.
one. I do have a good quality of this one. That's not bad. Me likey. Freaking Pope chamber. There's another one. There's another one of these. Another one of these photos that. That I've been looking for, and it's the serpent den in a cathedral.
Yeah. Hey, you showed us that many times.
Yeah, there's another one that I've been looking for and I can't find it. Maybe it's John Paul's audience hall. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. I found it. Some dump. Because there's some fun ones. So this is John Paul's audience hall. And I'm sorry, but if that doesn't look like a serpent, like, I don't know, man. Like, if I'm going to spend millions and millions of dollars on architecture and I'm a pope, I'm probably not going to do satanic imagery with the fangs and everything. I mean, look, it's even got the fangs, bro. Look at that.
Yeah, well, did you hear they excommunicated Vigliano?
I don't really pay any attention to that stuff.
Yeah, they so the ambassador from the U.S. to the Vatican, right? His name is Viglio. They just excommunicated him.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's some straight freaking satanic stuff, right? In the Vatican. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know that it's satanic, but it definitely looks like a snake.
I mean, if you're Bible, I mean, you're definitely worship Satan because the serpent is supposedly Satan. I mean, even to the Catholics, this is true. You know, I mean, like, you can't like believe something really hardcore and then go depict imagery of it and go, oops. You know, like, that's not how it works. Like, I'm not an idiot. You know, like.
That's a really good point.
No, that's why sometimes, like, when people try to tell me, like, what I see, like, that I'm not supposed to believe it, I'm like, I don't believe in coincidences.
Keep going through those pictures.
Huh?
Keep going through those pictures.
What pictures?
Keep going through those pictures. I'm looking. On your screen.
What about it?
Just keep going through them.
Oh, I am kind of going through them.
That's a trip. What's with the lights? It's like the old part of the neighborhood and the new.
I think that's Four Corners.
No, does it give you a date?
No, I think that's, where is that?
Is that a river?
York? Yeah, it's a river there. Looks like it might be New York.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't tell.
It looks like
It's like Philly or New York or something. Or Four Corners, California, something like that. I'm not sure. All right, I'll show you some of these. These are cool. This is some stuff I've been working on for backgrounds. I like making backgrounds, and that's why when I want to do AI art on my podcast and such.
No AI slop. No AI slop.
AI art. No, but I want it to be good stuff.
It's slop. It's slop.
Hey, go be a jerk somewhere else. Like, I know you don't have to use it. I'm not going to ask you to use it, but don't be a hater. I use AI every day. You can choose to expand your mind, or you know, like I said, everyone's got their own path. Everyone's got their own path. You don't have to like AI. I'm not gonna hate on you for not. But I find it incredibly useful, from looking at the temperature to cook brownies to ask where to look on Google Earth and what program to download and how to set up the settings and stuff. But fun stuff, fun backgrounds. I think that's Christina Aguilera. But you can use AI, and then you can add stuff to these kinds of photos, and some of these are real, and some are just ones I just really like. Some of these are like these two right here are official artist renditions of the negatives of these. So like on certain wavelengths they would look like this. It's just that the way we look at stuff in space, we look at it through such a large range of electromagnetic radiation that it goes far beyond our visual range. So like these universes or these galaxies just tend to be like very blue. They're really energetic, but they're really far away, so they're like shifted into like real blue light that's been shifted into the red and purple, which tends to get hard for us to pick up. We can only pick up the blue parts of it. But if you get up real close, they would look extremely different. They would look more like the way Andromeda and our own Milky Way look to us, because the light wouldn't be all stretched out, So the artist renditions are the best we can do of getting close to them and imagining what they would look like, what kind of like. Because we see bands of elements, and that's how we know what these things are made out of. They all have their own electric signature. So you can go, that place is made out of 70% 70% hydrogen, helium. Looks like there's even some iron in there. A bunch of planets floating around, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Tower of Babel. Some good ones. Like this is some fun AI stuff. Like None of these are mine, mind you. I've made a few on my own. I think there might be a couple mixed in here, but for the most part, I can't make good enough to put in my own save folder. Lou should appreciate this one.
Yeah, some Dark Souls.
This is the CERN. That's not AI, that's real. That's CERN.
What is that?
That's CERN.
Telescope?
No, it's off CERN, the Large Hadron Collider. It's one of the smaller experiments. It's not the larger one. I can't remember which one it is, but people
You know
have
what
done
that
AI.
looks like?
But people do AI art from that picture. What does
You
it
know
look
what it looks like? You know that like picture, the atmospheric picture that looked like a spaceship.
Sure.
It looked like that, magnified big time.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And I mean, I think a lot of these, there's going to be a lot of overlap in these technologies because of the way, because everything is really just RF radiation. You know, everything is just electromagnetic radiation, and then there are some other kinds of magnetic radiation, and at smaller distances you get some other kinds. But for the most part, in order to be able to look at things, you're just going to change your materials density and such. You know, like so. A lot of those will have a lot of resemblance to one another because they legit are doing the same thing.
Tired.
Boobies. I'd say that's probably still. I'm not for kids these days. I switched that off, but
Star Wars gay shit.
just do it.
Yeah. Shia above.
I don't know if that's A or not. I don't care. This is dope. Look at all of those white dudes who died for Jews. Look at all of them.
Yeah.
Look at all those dead white dudes. For what? For what? Honestly, you know what? The best thing they gave us was some strong motherfucking
Agreed.
grandpas. Some strong ass grandpas. The unintentional side effect of wars. I like this one. I love this one. Like that. See, this is me casting a spell on you. How's that? I'm making you learn physics passively. I'm just making you look at lots of equations so that maybe your mind will take them in and be a little bit better at sorting out your local universe and understanding it better, just through osmosis of that blackboard. How's that?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why the monkeys are still monkeys, right?
What do you mean?
Yeah, because, you know, you put enough symbology and technology in front of somebody, they'll learn.
So this is clearly a representation of what's. So this is cool. I've been reading about these. There's these things called the X marks, and it's one of the reasons why you see the triangle symbolism everywhere. Is supposedly our government knows about these portals, and they might even use some. But this is a map of how to use a portal. So that's Earth, or that's the sun. That's the sun, and you can go work your way out from the smallest to the largest. So you've got Earth, Venus, Mars, or sorry, I'm retarded. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, right? And when the planets are aligned like that, that is where a portal will be. Isn't that cool? And you'll see lots of different art like this. And once you see this art, you'll start understanding what they mean, and you'll realize that they're star maps for portals. I think that's pretty dope. But also, they're a timestamp too, because you can rewind and find this alignment, right? Like, we're really good at that. Like, when I talk about these people being really good astronomers, they were, and this is how they did it. And so this is time stamped, right? Like, that's really cool. I love that kind of stuff. And it's esoteric, but it's also, like, real. It's rooted in science. It's not... Wish you were here. I believe nukes exist. I know there's this thing about nukes not existing, but...
Yeah, I always thought that was strange. The whole nukes not existing thing.
Pillars of creation. One of the most energetic places in our Milky Way. I don't think they're in our Milky Way. I actually think they're in a dwarf galaxy right next to us. I always forget what that dwarf galaxy is called. But like it's cool. So when you see nebulae like this, a lot of times there'll be like a supercharged quasar in the middle of them, and they're kind of like a renewed cycle from galaxies. Galaxies, when they get too large and bulbous in the center, they tend to spit out these quasars that travel on north-south patterns of the galaxy rather than in the spiral arms. And they spit out these like real young star formations that, like, you know, it's cool. They're really dope. They're fun to study.
Strange.
And for some reason, like, a lot of astronomers like to deny this phenomenon for some reason. It's really weird because it throws off their idea of what redshift is. Like, because it makes things look like they're not in the right spot in the universe. Like they're either too close or too far away. And it's like, you just got to look at the fucking parent galaxies and measure there. It's just like, it's not a problem with the system. It's not going to throw off all of your science. You just have to make your science a little bit more precise. You know, like, you need to go, instead of like worrying about redshift of these individual galaxies, you need to look at these clusters, right? And look at them and then maybe reevaluate like your distance now. They do some dumb stuff, real dogmatic stuff, and no one really knows why. And modern scientists are going like, well, why are these people like so dogmatic?
Who knows why anybody does anything?
You know, for whatever reason, this is what I think. The reason why I think a lot of this esoteric knowledge is like hidden from us. It's like so dogmatic and anti-science, and it seems to be funded by like a couple of mega corporations that just like essentially pay for what you get to see in the media, and it just doesn't have any real basis in reality. I mean, kinda, but it's also very informative. Like, the base layers to get there tend to make sense, if not a little over convoluted, intentionally, in my point of view. But it overall, it really does slow down science, and I think that it is intentionally done that way. At the very least, like, take it down one more level. Like, there's definitely a lot of money to be made on disinformation. You know, being able to hold that technology for yourself and release it and get to control that stream is very lucrative, you know? So, I mean, that right there, money, you know, greed. We say it all the time. All of us do. So.
Yep.
Yeah, right? I mean, that's easy number one. Back when Taylor Swift was a hot 13-year-old boy.
What? This is a new one.
No, I've always thought she was a little boy. I mean, she was a hot one. I mean, like, she had me fooled for a minute, you know? Like, and then as she got older, I'm like, how come she doesn't make my wiener hard? You know? I'm like, oh, that's right, she's a boy. I like women. See, like, this is what I like about AI. Like, here's an AI drawing. I love this stuff. Like, you know, you can really take a picture and make it more vibrant and, like, bring attention to something without ruining the original. Like, I do feel like it's a new creation in its own right. I mean, can AI be used for evil and corruption? Absolutely. I don't know why this has always been one of my all-time favorite backgrounds. And I want to do an AI. Yeah, I want to do an AI one where it's zoomed out and it's a laundromat in space. I would do it right now. I would do it right now, except that every time I run my AI renderer, it freezes up the computer and stalls the stream. So I can't do it. I need to get a Xeon for that. Or I need to have a laptop out in front of me. Like this AI, this freaking dope AI. Look at that. That is just so epic. Yeah, this is what kind of stuff I want to make. You know, I just like want to take requests. I kind of make some of my own.
That's funny.
Hey, I got one of those coming. I got an AK coming. It'll be here on Wednesday. I bought
that's right. You sold all your guns. You can buy an AK. Right?
Yeah, I'll put up what I bought. I want to get a good image of it. So I'm gonna pull up a good one. I like those kinds of backgrounds too. You can make a lot of that stuff with AI art. It's not too tough. Okay, here we go. Open image. So when I'm getting mine in Tiger Wood. I forget what wood this one is, but that's the one I'm getting. Zastava M70. It's got some it's got some stuff to take off for the automatic, but then they swap in some RPK parts, and they put a Yugo style scope rail on it. So it's a really nice one. It's $1,000.
Nice.
Yep. And that should be here on Wednesday. Cool. I went down and did my they gave me a delay. It happens. Hey, here's one. Here's the exact one I got. There's a tiger. The tiger stripe. I decided to go with the light yellow because it tends to not hold scuffs near as bad as the red lacquer. And I've had some of this kind of wood, and you can just put boiled linseed oil back over it and like hit it with some hot water and it like pulls dents out of it. They're hella easy to maintain and they look really good. So I chose my wood with reason, and not to mention, it just looks dope AF. Like, isn't that a pretty looking gun?
Yeah, of course.
I can't wait to go put some rounds through it. Dude, you gotta stay up on. I'm moving to Russia, man. I gotta stay up on my Russian firearms. You know. More boobies.
I like that red one.
Yeah.
It's like a video game.
Right. I think some of these are actually made in video game renderers. Like a lot of this kind of stuff would get made in, Skyrim. And then it's like they mod the crap out of Skyrim, and then they go and put it through Photoshop.
Yeah.
I've done some of that with my AI. Like I was using, some nudie programs to like pose women, and then you can like take the JSON files and upload them into your AI, and then it gives you those poses. There's lots of different techniques in doing your art that way. To like pose like I even use some like websites where you can pose dummies, and then you can like superpose that over on your AI, and then like make it an Asian, make it an elf, make it a fucking furry, whatever the hell you want to do with it. There you go. I'm in a mood for a background change, but I want them to be made. I made a bunch for my wife, and I can't find them. I don't know where I put them. If you guys are done, we can shut the stream down. We don't have to keep going forever if you guys are over it.
Yeah, we got real quiet.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, we've been at it for like an hour and a half. You know, it's.
Yeah, probably about done.
If you guys want to, I can sit here and talk about this shit for a
Was
while.
this,
But
was this the stream? Or was this,
yeah, here.
is
hang
this
on.
for your stream or was it for the,
Yeah, we're streaming. Hang on, I'll sign us off.
oh.
Yeah, that's it for today. I'm gonna sign us out.